This is the Lychee Gaming G66 Custom Mechanical Keyboard. It has all of the things that I look for in a keyboard. Gasket mounted, south-facing PCB, perky RGB, tri-mode connectivity, and a knob. All for the amazing price of 2,800 pesos. If you want to know more, continue watching this video. Welcome to today's episode of Tokidoki, and today we go deeper into the budget mechanical keyboard. I want to build this keyboard and make it as budget friendly as possible for those who are trying to get deeper. Yung mga medyo papalalim na dito sa mechanical keyboard hobby. Of course, for the beginner ones out there are a lot of pre-built keyboards, meaning buo na yung keyboard. Pag binili nyo, may keycaps, may switches na, that could go around 1,000 to 2,000 pesos. For this build, our budget would be around 5,000 to 6,000 pesos. It's a very decent budget for those trying to go deeper into the hobby. At the same time, it's not that deep enough na medyo mapapalayas ka na ng asawa mo sa bahay nyo. Okay? There are a lot of options in the budget mechanical keyboard out there. There are the ACO ACR builds. There is the Fecker IK75. There's the Tom 680. And a lot of these keyboards are really good with lots of reviews out there. And while I was doing my search on Shopee, I found out about the Matchu G66 keyboard. It's the same keyboard as the Lychee G66 keyboard. And when I saw the specs and the price of this keyboard, I was really blown away. For 2,800 pesos bare bones, you get all of the things that you are looking for in a custom mechanical keyboard. The G66 at 2,800 pesos on paper is a very good deal. You get gasket mounting option, you get that perky RGB, you get tri-mode connectivity, you get a knob, and the PCB is south-facing. So for those of you like me who like cherry profile keycaps, the south-facing PCB is very important. There are a lot of good keyboards option out there at similar price range. However, most of them offer north-facing PCBs. For north-facing PCBs, you might, depending on the switch that you're using, you might encounter keycap interference. However, this is avoided when you have a south-facing PCB. That is why when I saw this keyboard, I was very excited. So the question is it as good in paper as it is in real life? Let's find out. So for this build, I will be using the KTT Rose linear switches, and this is sponsored by our partners Kibzilla. Do check them out on Shopee. Lots of good options for switches out there, and they are kind enough to send us the KTT Rose linear switch. It's priced at 18 pesos per switch. You get 10 pieces for 180 pesos. Their mint version and their sea salt version have a lot of good reviews in YouTube. I wanted to try out the KTT Rose, which I've heard are also very good. So we will see how the switches will fare with this build. And for the keycaps, we have our very good sponsor, Custom Keycaps PH. Do check out their Shopee page. We will be using the Night Run version. It's a PBT double shot cherry profile keycaps. What I do like about the Custom Keycaps PH keycap set is that they are very good quality. They're very thick. The legends are good. So if you haven't tried out their product yet, I encourage you to try them out. I think it's really worth it. I've tried keycaps that are around 1,000, 1,500. I didn't like it that much. Very thin, very so-so quality, but this one's really good. Okay, so let's proceed to the unboxing video, and I'll show you what the Lychee G66 is all about. What's in the box? It's a very plain box, as expected. We don't expect anything fancy here. For the price, I'm more interested in the keyboard, how it will perform. Oh, wow, look at that. There's a little bit of a surprise in here, so it's not as ordinary as I thought. Newborn, we break all. So it's a Lychee gaming keyboard, and let's see what's in the box. So we have a bare bones keyboard unit, this one. So wow, that is the keyboard. It's a bare bones unit, looks nice. Let's see what else do we have here. It comes with a pretty decent standard USB-C cable, USB-A to USB-C. There's an extra knob. Oh, that's good. So you get here a gold knob, your 2.4G receiver, switch puller, Allen wrench, and as well as a keycap puller. So this is the standard knob that you get with it, and then you get an extra golden knob. So not bad at all. So this is a gasket mounted keyboard, 65% with RGB lighting. What else does it come with? Some screws, and it comes with some screw and some red switches, but I won't be using that. I have a separate switch for my build for this one. So let's get this keyboard out of the box. Light it. Not bad at all. So you have a rotary knob, you have stabilizers with it. It is south facing on almost all of the rows except the first row, which is north facing. It's gasket mounted, but I don't see too much of a play, but it's not stiff. The typing feeling is not stiff. I've tried this. Before recording this unboxing video, I've already tried the unit out, and it's really good, but I think there are a lot of rooms for improvement, and that's why we're gonna do this modding guide right now. So my plans for this one is to do a Tempest tape mod, a PE foam mod, and then we modify the stabilizers, and I will replace the gasket with a D65 gasket as well. See if we could maximize that flex. Alright, so let's get to it. So you prepare all of the materials you need: the screwdriver, the paintbrush, Krytox 205 grade 0. That orange thing there's the Leukoplast mod, and then that thing there is the PE foam. I have a lot of PE foam, as you can see. Okay, and then some masking tape for the Tempest tape mod. So those are the materials that I needed. We remove the knob and then try to open up the casing. This is a pain in the ass. I find it really hard to open up the case. A lot of reviews showed the people opening up the case using just their fingers. I find it really hard. I had to use a screwdriver to pry open the lower case from the upper case. So just be very careful, as this is all plastic. Mind you, the material doesn't feel cheap. It looks nice, but it's plastic. So in time, if you're not careful in doing this, you might break off some of the locks. So you don't want to do that. Although I've read that you can buy the upper case, a separate upper case. So yeah, that's it. So there you see the gasket mounts. It's very stiff. It's not the best gasket mount mechanism. So after removing the top case, you can just simply lift up the PCB sandwich. Here you can see that I already removed the screws. There are around 6 screws that holds the PCB from the plate. I removed it. so as to try to give it more flex. The plate is really stiff. I'm not sure if it's aluminum, but I think it's more of a steel. I think the material is steel, like the Keychron Q2. So I removed that. It comes with a foam for the bottom case, but I will be replacing that with a silicone sheet. So it's pretty straightforward. You just need a screwdriver, and those ones over there are the gasket strips. We will also be replacing that with the D65 gasket strips from KBD fans, because those gasket strips are very hard. Okay, so it comes in with a plate mounted stabilizers, so we'll be modding that as well. Oh, it does, sorry about that, it does come in with a plate foam, which is really nice. It adds to that dampening effect, and that's one of the reasons why this board does not sound hollow at all. It really sounds good. So here's the PCB. Our next mod will be the PE foam mod, so I will fast forward in this part. So when you do the PE foam mod, you want to cut out the places where the stabilizers will rest, because that will affect the sound. So make sure you cut them out. And then for the switch pads, I use the Leukoplast tape. It is very effective for me. I love the sound when using those Leukoplast tape as a switch plate. Okay, stabilizers plate. And then the stabilizers are okay. Just have to lube them up and Holy mod it. Again, I use the Leukoplast tape. That's my favorite material for Holy modding. It really removes the rattle. The stabs are decent, but you will do better if you can replace them with an aftermarket stabilizer. So as you can see, I use the Gateron Yellow Pros here, but I will replace that eventually with the KTT Rose. Next up is replacing the gasket, because this stock gasket is really hard. It's more like a rubber than a foam, as compared to the D65 gasket from KBD fans. So as you can see, it's softer. It will result in more flex. But after doing this gasket modification with the D65 gaskets, I found out that there's an inherent problem with the architectural design of this keyboard. It doesn't matter so much if you replace the gasket, because the plate is really sitting on top of the lower case, and it's sandwiched between the upper and the lower case, so much so that there's no room for flex. So even if you do replace that gasket, it will not affect the flex so much. It will not make the board that bouncy. I even tried putting 2 layers of gasket, and while it did work, there's a lot of play that you can see while the plate is placed on top of the lower case. When you put down the upper case and lock it up to the lower case, the flex again is gone, because the upper case pushes down on the plate. So there's nothing you can do with that. I even tried to cut out the part of the lower case that holds the USB dongle or the USB connecting port to give it more play, but it's to no avail. It's no use, because when I put down the upper case and the lower case sandwich, all that flex is gone. So this is the best flex that I could get out of this keyboard. Again, it's not bouncy, but the typing feel is not stiff at all. It's on the stiffer side of the spectrum, but it's not really stiff. It's still okay for me. In a desperate attempt to get some flex, I even cut off the standoffs in the middle of the lower case. I don't know why it's there. It doesn't attach to anything, but the flex is still the same. So my final mod would be the silicone sheet. This is a 1mm silicone sheet I got off from Shopee. I cut it out to fill the spaces in the lower part of the case. Hopefully it will remove some of the hollowness, although technically this board is not hollow at all, so I'm not really sure if this mod is really needed, but I did it anyways. So yeah, that's the final mod that I did for this keyboard. So it's finally here after a long wait. I got my switches from Keyboard, our sponsor, one of our sponsors for this video. And awesome customer service from Keyboard. You should try it out. Definitely try it out if you're looking for those switches. And they even personalized my box with my logo, so that's a very personal touch. I love it. So let's open this up. Yeah, they look awesome. These switches look awesome, and they're pretty good, huh? I'm not even sure if you need to lube this. It's smooth. It's not much of a scratch that I can feel. Although of course I think it will benefit from lubing, but it's really good, even stock. Let's put these bad boys into the Lychee G66 and see how it is. So guys, this is the final product. This is the final build for my Lychee G66. Let's break it down again. So the bare bone unit is 2,800 pesos off Shopee. The KTT Rose switches will cost you 1,260 pesos for 70 pieces. I got it off Keyboard. Your keycaps will cost you 2,500 pesos. That is from your custom keycaps PH. I changed the stabilizers to the Duroc plate mounted stabilizers, which will cost around 500 pesos. And the total for this build would go around 7,000 pesos. So I know I told you guys that I was planning to build this on the 5,000 to 6,000 peso price budget. My budget kinda gotten overboard. And the reason for that is because the board showed so much potential. Okay, this could well be an endgame keyboard for many enthusiasts out there starting in the hobby. Okay, you can still manage to bring the cost down by saving off maybe just using the stack stabilizers, which are okay. They're not the best, but it's okay. And maybe using different switches and keycaps, but I saw the potential in this board and I wanted to make the most out of it. So for the additional 1,000, 1,500, I think it is well worth it. Okay, so how good is this board? Let's break it down to the strengths and the weaknesses, what I like a lot and what I don't like, or what I think needs improvement. So the strengths of this board is that it's a solid sounding board. It has a very good acoustic quality for its price. The typing feel, although not soft and bouncy, the typing feel is still good. It is on the stiff side of the spectrum, but it is still very good. I didn't get any fatigue while using it for a long time, and I didn't expect to use this for so long because I had my KBD67 Lite and the Mr. Suit for my rotation, and yet I've been using this board straight for a week right now. That's how I'm enjoying it. That's how good this board is. So other strengths would be its gasket mounted design. It has south facing PCB, which is very important for guys like me who like the cherry profile keycaps. It has a knob. It has tri-mode connectivity. I can use this in my desk or at work. And the most important part is the price. For the price of this bare bones unit, it is very hard to beat. So there are some weaknesses that I would like to point out. Number one is that they have no option for plate mounted stabilizers. I prefer plate mounted stabilizers, so I hope in the future they will address that. The stack stabilizers is so-so. It needs a lot of work, and after doing your work, after lubing it, holy modding it, it sounds decent enough. So you can use that, but I prefer to change it. And again, the gasket mounting, as I've said before, needs improvement because I think there's a lot of room for the flex. It's just that the plate design eliminated that flex. So if they could fix that, this board will be very flexy and bouncy. Okay, so a lot of my viewers are asking how this board compares to other popular keyboards of the same layout, and we're talking about the Keychron Q2 and the KBD67 Lite. The Keychron Q2 has a better flex. It has a full aluminum case, giving it that premium feeling. However, it doesn't have a wireless connectivity. But don't get me wrong, this board doesn't feel cheap at all, and it also looks nice. The KBD67 Lite has a talkier sound profile, so if that's what you're looking for, that board is more talky. However, what I like about this board is that I appreciate the sound of different switches better because it doesn't mute the sound of the switches. The KBD67 Lite has more color customization options. This board has a more limited one. However, again, if you factor in the price, those two keyboards will cost 2 to 3 times as much as this board. If you factor in the price, my overall rating for this keyboard would be similar or at par with the KBD67 Lite and the Keychron Q2. It's that good. So the bottom line would be, how much is your budget and what is your preferred setup? So if you prefer a talkier keyboard, the KBD67 Lite might be the one for you. If you prefer a full aluminum case, the Keychron Q2 might be the one for you. However, those boards are again more pricey. So the final question is, would I recommend it? It's a big yes. This board is for those who are looking to explore the custom mechanical keyboard builds without breaking the bank. It offers a lot of features that can only be seen in keyboards 2 to 3 times the price range of this one. And although the gasket implementation is not the best, I'm willing to let that go because this keyboard offers so much. So that's my opinion on the Lychee G66. That is my modding guide. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will leave you with a final sound test. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you learned something from it. Please do help me continue this channel by hitting that like and subscribe button. While you're at it, also hit that notification bell to see my future content about mechanical keyboards. And also visit my other keyboard reviews available in my channel. Again, this is Tokidoki. Thank you for watching.